everybody doing? Welcome to another edition, or actually on season one, the last series on season one. A funny thing happened on my way to success. I am your host, Miguel Washington, author, comedian, public speaker, father, husband, friend, homeboy, chilling in the cut. All right, glad you guys joined me again. I'm excited about this podcast. Didn't know if I was going to make it to 10, but it's been going really well, been going extremely well. I'm proud of what I've done, and I hope you guys are checking out my podcast, checking it out, and give me some comments. Go to YouTube, go to Spotify. If you want to see it, see the podcast as opposed to just listening to it, go to my YouTube channel, Miggy's World. And it's a lot of Miggy's World out there. I found that out, which I don't understand because I'm the only true, real Miggy's World. But go to Miggy's World, subscribe to my page on YouTube, and it's the one with my picture on it. That right there. Yeah. And subscribe to my page and check out all the other podcasts I've done. Like I said, this is number 10. And like the first 9, this first season has been great. I've had comedian Kevin Jordan, Derek Cameron, Willie B Washington, Lewis Johnson, who was just on this week, which was last night. And I've had singers Kate Gordon and Kenny James, which is great. And also I had a circus clown, Jim Maltman, which was very interesting. And I had an impressionist, my good friend, also of the Dry Dock Comedy channel we do together, Paul Boland, and also magician Malcolm Puck. You got to buy his book. It's amazing. So check out all my podcasts. For those who say first time watching it, a funny thing happened on my way to success is the name of my book. There it is right there. Yep. And this podcast is a continuation of that book. This book is basically, it's funny stories of events that has happened to me on my 30-year journey. My son is in Germany. I've never been to Germany. My 30-year journey in this life of stand-up comedy. And I just continued the podcast with that same mentality. And, tonight is no exception. I am so proud. Now, you'll see, I've had a lot of different people come on, and it's been weird to have different entertainers. And as I'm waiting for my buddy to check in, this guy here is a ventriloquist. Never had a ventriloquist. That's not him. That's his wife. Apparently he don't know how to cut on the video so I can see him. I might have to edit this part out. Very nice picture of his wife. Are you there, Mr. Willie Brown?
I'm here, and I'm trying to start my video, and I'm clicking on. Are
you working on making your lips not move? Is there something you have to do as a ventriloquist to make your lips not move so you didn't want to show it right away? What's up, man?
Yeah, it's like, okay, right here, it's saying start video.
Uh-huh. So you had to hit start video.
So
did you hit start video?
I sure did. And it's saying Zoom is unable to detect a camera. Make sure your camera is powered on and is connected to your computer. And it always works. I don't know. My wife's computer always works.
Okay, let's do this. I'm going to pause this back up. After technical difficulties, now I have my man, the amazing, the ventriloquist of the world, nation known, wide world, Willie B. What's up, man?
Man, everything is good, man. I'm telling you, I'm COVID free. I'm excited. I'm glad to be here. This is the best show I've had all night. Okay.
Well, let me say this to you. First of all, very beautiful picture of your beautiful wife, Sherry.
Oh, thank you.
And next time, learn how to push the buttons on the camera before. So you're supposed to have all that ironed out. Because you said 10 minutes, and I gave you 30 because I know we had problems last time I tried to record you. I couldn't hear you.
So you gave me extra time. Okay.
Yeah, and you still didn't know how to hit the button.
I got it.
So Willie B, how you been, man? You doing good?
Yeah, I'm doing good, man. I'm telling you, when I bought $2,000 worth of groceries and paid no bills. All right. So, we might get foreclosed on, but we ain't gonna be hungry.
I know that's right. Hey, if you're gonna be homeless, you might as well be full when you walk away, right?
That's what I'm saying, man. I can see the sheriff, and she can be like, "Mr. Brown, can you come with us?" I'm saying, "No problem. Look, don't touch that food. You can have this furniture, okay? Don't touch that food right there."
So Willie B, we met. I don't know if you remember this. We met in 1997. 1997, Monterey, California. Remember the club?
I remember Gemini, Planet Gemini.
Planet Gemini. That was the club. And I had heard about you. I had the only other ventriloquist I knew of was Willie Tyler and Lester.
Okay.
That was it. Now this young brother come up, gonna be a ventriloquist. I was like, okay, his name is Willie too. Is he copping? Is he stealing the material? No. Then you get up on stage and you kill it. And I was so impressed by okay, first of all, I gotta ask this. How in the hell, in your mind, did you formulate, I want to be a ventriloquist? Give me that story.
I was into magic tricks when I was a kid. I was sleight of hand, stuff like this.
Oh, okay, cool. All right.
That was my first love, magic.
Okay.
And so I just, ventriloquism is pretty similar. It's a similar art form of this misdirection. When I was a kid, I realized I had a love for puppets. Okay. And there was a TV show called Soap. You might remember that show.
I remember Soap with Billy Crystal.
Yeah, Billy Crystal, Robert Guillaume.
Yes.
And Jay Johnson was the ventriloquist on the show.
Jay Johnson. Yeah.
Jay Johnson was the guy that won me over, man. When I saw him as a kid, I knew immediately that I wanted to do that because my motivation was to fool my friends. I just wanted to fool my friends. That's
right.
It.
Oh, okay.
I was a prankster at school. I brought the fake dog mess to school and put it in the hallway and the stink bombs and all. That was me. I was that guy.
That was you. Oh, you was that guy. Now here's the thing. You said you like to play with puppets. You had a thing. I had a thing for dolls, but my daddy told me to don't fool with them dolls. But that's a whole different story. But you saw Jay Johnson on Soap.
Yeah.
And you decided then. And how old were you then?
13.
13, and you knew what you wanted to do at 13.
Well, I saw him and I said, I want to do that. And I think, now I know it goes back to my early childhood. When I was a kid, there was a show called Jerry Mahoney. Jerry Mahoney and Knucklehead Smith. Jerry Mahoney was a ventriloquist.
Okay.
Way back in the late 60s. Probably, late 60s. I was born in 62.
Okay.
And I remember that show coming on, and I would watch it, and it didn't last long. But I remember seeing him with the puppets, and I realized that was my first time seeing a ventriloquist. And the next time I saw a ventriloquist, I was 13 years old.
Okay.
And it was on Soap. And I was like, wow, that was that thing that I had missed all those years that I really wanted to do.
Now that's kind of crazy because here's the thing. I used to watch the Carol Burnett show religiously. Our family watched it every Saturday night. I was intrigued by how they put those sketches together and making people laugh. Then I heard Richard Pryor, and I was intrigued on how he put those jokes together. And all that stuff formulated in my head, but I couldn't identify with it at that young age. I didn't identify with what I wanted to do until I saw Eddie Murphy. And the only reason I was able to identify with him is because he was closer to my age. Carol Burnett was much older. Richard Pryor, to me, was much older. So until you find somebody, for me, until I found somebody who was doing, it like clicked when I saw this young brother doing comedy. And I was like, I think that's what I'm supposed to be doing. Was that like that? But at 13, man, there was no way I thought about that.
I think, I'd already been into magic. I'd already been used to getting in front of a mirror, practicing, for hours trying to perfect the trick.
Uh-huh.
And so I had a discipline for it. So when I saw that show, I told my mother I wanted to be a ventriloquist. So she bought me.
So that's what I was doing. That's going to be the next question. How did your mother react to, I want to be a ventriloquist?
My mother knew that I was that kind of kid, that I liked that, Because she took me to the magic shops, and I would stay there for
That is
for
so
hours.
cool. That is cool. But that's like telling your mother you want to be a pro wrestler. You know?
Yeah, you know, she supported me, man. She supported me, and I got another story to tell you though. She supported me, and so she bought my first puppet as a Christmas gift. And my brother told me that she got it for me before Christmas. I snuck in there and I was playing with it before Christmas. That really broke her heart, but I couldn't help it because, man, I wanted to do it so bad.
Wow.
So it had a little booklet on how to throw your voice, and I started practicing.
Right. How did that like your first step? Give me step one on, like, because honestly, I've tried, I don't see how you do it. How do you even start?
You got to have a voice that's different from your voice.
Okay, that's number one.
You gotta have something else, man. You gotta come up with something else. You gotta have something else going on.
Because it's kind of dumb for the dummy to talk just like you.
Yeah, because you want him to be different from you.
Okay, so, I'm sorry. Was that politically correct? Should I call him a dummy?
That's the D word.
Okay.
I resemble that statement. I resemble that.
Oh, did he hear me? Did he hear me?
I gotta get him.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Oh, man. Oh,
man,
Woody.
I heard that, Miguel.
What's up, Woody?
I thought me and you was good.
We was, man. I mean, I didn't mean to say the D word.
Yeah, man, I resemble that statement.
It's all good.
It's all good. So when you first started this, and I'm talking to Willie.
Talking to you, man.
Okay. Talking to you, dude. I know.
Do you see, it's weird because I'm trying to interview.
I know. So I need, he probably need to go away, huh?
No, keep him here. Keep him
I'm here
now. I gotta get used to this. So when you first started with the voice, changing, throwing your voice, what was the repetition like? In music, it scales. In singing, it scales. But in ventriloquism, what is the repetition?
Well,
what's the repetition?
I saw there was a special that came on at the exact time when I started learning the basics. There was a special on HBO called The Event. And then on all these ventriloquists on one stage, then one after the other. It was Edgar Bergen, Charlie McCarthy, it was Willie Tyler and Lester.
Right.
Who was the other black ventriloquist that's most notable.
Right.
And so the voice, I was kind of trying to pattern myself behind him somewhat with the voice he had for Lester. So I was just trying to think of voice. I was like,
hey, man, this sounds good right here. I like this right here.
Right.
It just came natural. It really came natural.
Right.
And I just kept practicing, man. And I did what they told me to do. Practice keeping your mouth closed. Practice certain letters you cannot pronounce.
Oh, did we go on pause? Did you hit pause? Oh man, did Woody hit the pause button? What's going on here, man? You done everything. Everybody was interested, and now we got your lips ain't moving, Woody's lips ain't moving, and I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Man, don't tell me we got to start this over. We're gonna take. Oh, here we go. I was gonna take a break and come back. You hit a button.
Oh. It says
my internet is unstable.
Okay.
And so is my life. Okay, all right.
Well, maybe you should have paid your internet bill instead of all that food you bought.
That's right. Tell me something new, okay?
So certain letters you can't
pronounce without moving your lips, like the letter B.
Mm-hmm.
You have to substitute B with the letter D. So instead of saying boy, you really say doy. Like say boy.
Boy.
But you keep practicing, it sounds like you're really saying boy. Like say bad boy.
Bad boy.
Bad boy.
Bad boy.
Say bottle of beer.
Bottle of beer.
Bottle of beer.
Bottle of beer. Bottle of beer. Bottle of beer. Bottle of Budweiser beer.
So that's interesting, man. So you had no interest in music, sports?
No, I played basketball up to junior high school. I was really good. I played intramural ball. I was good. I got cut from the junior high school team.
Wait a minute.
Hold on. You know it's not been that good.
No. Let me tell you, everybody has a sports story, right? The guys that made I made the rec team. Some guys didn't make the rec team, but they made the school team. Okay. I didn't make the school team, but I should have made the school team. But there was a lot of politics involved too, man.
Right.
So I didn't make the school team. I tried out 7th grade, 6th grade year, 7th grade, and after that, I was like, man, we're gonna play with dolls now. That's what you said, right? No, come on, you came out the closet, didn't you? He came out the closet. He came out the closet.
Yeah, I know. I've seen that.
So I don't know, man. I'm glad I channeled my interest, man, into something else. Now, my first character was just a basic kind of puppet. But then I took a home study course that I found in the back of a comic book. And I followed everything they said to do. It was amazing. The timing for all this was great. Okay, Jay Johnson, I watched Jay Johnson on Soap. Then they had the event on HBO. I got a chance to see all these great ventriloquists. And I mirrored all of their routines. I watched all of them. I basically I learned them all word for word, everything they said. Then what was the last thing I just told you?
You just said something. I can't remember.
You was talking about you followed the pattern. You followed the pattern behind the comic book. You watched all.
I found a home study course in a comic book for ventriloquists.
Right.
It's the same home study course that Willie Tyler and
Lester. Oh, here we go again. No, oh man,
took Willie Tyler and Lester and a lot of other great ventriloquists. And I did what they told me to do. They said, if you follow these lessons, you can become a pro. I believed it, man. I believed them. I believe this. You can.
Believe this. If you freeze one more time, we're gonna have a GoFundMe page so you can pay your cable bill. Yeah, it keeps freezing. I got you now, but you freeze one more time.
I don't know why it's doing that.
I don't know, man.
Oh, I know you don't know, Woody. I know you don't know. He
it's all wood. That. It's all wood. You know.
It's all wood. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So you believe, but here's the thing. To me, that sounds like that's God. That's God. It's
funny that you say that, but I just thought it was like I just had this extra talent that I picked up and anybody could do it.
Right.
But probably not.
No.
Probably not. But I thought that like, oh, anybody could do this. If you practice in the mirror for hours.
Right.
Your voices, and you keep your puppet moving like he's real. And if I treat him like he's real, you'll treat him like he's real. But if I have him like this, sitting there like that, it'd be like, you know. Right. But Woody's,
I'm here, man. I just dozed off for a second. Okay. I got narcolepsy.
Okay, I got you.
You got narcolepsy.
Yeah, you know. Oh yeah, what was you saying, Miguel? What was you saying?
See that's like magic. You said sleight of hand because I'm not even looking at you now. I'm not paying attention to you. When Woody's talking, I'm paying attention to Woody.
That's the mark of a good ventriloquist. But you know, it's misdirection.
Mm-hmm.
And man, I fell in love with it, and I never thought that. Wow, this is silly. I'm a 6'4" black ventriloquist. I should be playing basketball somewhere. I didn't realize until it was too late. I was already into it.
Wait a minute. So when did you have your first gig where you got paid?
Yeah. Well, my first show was at my mother's job. She worked for Nationwide Insurance Company. We lived in Connecticut.
Mm-hmm.
We lived in Hamden, Connecticut, and they had a family talent night. And so I had time to practice. I ain't had nothing else to do. I mean,
right.
So I was in front
of my mother. You already got cut from the basketball team.
Yeah. So now I'm in the mirror practicing these sounds every day. O, I, E. Practicing not moving my lips and making these sounds and different things. It's like kind of like training like a singer, working on your diaphragm and that kind of stuff.
Right.
And so they had this family talent night. They asked who wanted to be in it. And of course, my mother volunteered me. So I did the show. And my first joke was like, I think I said something like, Nationwide is on your side. And then my character said, oh yeah, which one? That was it. They loved it. They loved it. Man. That was a killer bit.
Hey, it's always the opening bit. It's always the opening joke, man.
And so but I could write. I was able to write my own material, and I would write for every show I did. I would write jokes for that particular show. That's how I began. And anyway, after the show, people came up to me and said, "Oh, we really liked that, man. That was awesome. How much do you charge?" And I was 13 years old. I was like, "Charge?" I was like, "Ching, ching, ching, ching." I was like, "What? I can make money and have fun at the same time?" And you got to be kidding me. What?
Right.
So that was it. I was hooked, man. The next show, was at the Roger Sherman Theater, downtown New Haven, Connecticut. They had a talent showcase. First prize was $150.
Okay.
And guess who won it, man? I won it. But it was different because you don't see this kind of talent. You see singers, dancers.
Yes.
You never see a ventriloquist. So it was like, I won the talent show, man. That set me off, man. I was never stopped.
At 13 years old, you knew.
13 years old, man. One show led to another. My mother would take me to my magic shows. I would do like half magic, half ventriloquism.
Okay.
And,
okay.
She would take me there.
You was a dual threat. He was
something else. You did something else.
But let me tell you, when I ordered my next character, he was a semi-professional character.
Okay.
Figure is a proper term.
So hold on. So Woody,
figuratively speaking.
Yes. Yeah. So Woody is not your first.
This is not my first one. No.
Okay. Do you still have the first one?
No, the first one, I think an old girlfriend got a hold of him or something.
Woody, be careful.
Yeah, because his head was off of his body. You know what I'm saying? It's all wood. It's all wood.
So I saved up my money from my odd jobs, cutting grass, raking leaves. I grew up in New Haven, Connecticut, Hampton, Connecticut, pretty much.
Right.
And I ordered my character. I love ordering stuff by mail. Man, back then I was that kid. Always ordering.
Yeah, absolutely. You get something in the mail with your name on it?
It was
absolutely.
Great, man.
Yeah.
So this day, UPS was there. They were like, UPS COD for Willie Brown. My father's name is Willie Brown also. So we both go to the door, and he says, Willie Brown, that'll be $137. And my father goes, $137? This is a long time ago now. This is a long time ago. This is back in the 70s, right? Right. $137? $137 for what? I said, I'm getting a dummy. I had my jar full of my pennies and everything. I had everything, man. He said, a dummy? A dummy? He said, boy, you the dummy. Boy, they saw you coming. Oh, Lord, they took your money.
Wow.
You just gave it away.
Wait a minute. So you gave a jar of pennies, nickels, and dimes to the USP.
Well, I had it all. I had some bills also. I had some bills. Let me tell you, man. I was so convinced and so convincing about this, what I was involved in. I talked my parents into letting me go to the National Ventriloquist Convention in Fort Mitchell, Kentucky, at the age of 15. I bought my plane ticket. I paid for the hotel and the conference fee for my odd jobs. I was a hustler, man.
Wait a minute. Whoa. Back up. You talk your parents into going.
To let me go by myself.
At 15 years old?
At 15, they put me on a plane, man, to...
Man, they was hoping you got lost. They was hoping you got lost, Willie.
They put me on a plane to Cincinnati, Ohio, and I caught the shuttle from Cincinnati over to...
What?
Yes, man. I was a businessman at a young age, man. I was really ahead of my time, man. Look, and they let me stay there. I was there, man, I was a kid, man, but they let me check into the hotel because I was part of the conference package. Back then, they didn't check. Really? They said, oh, what's your name? I was Willie Brown. Okay, check right here. Okay, you're here for 3-4 days? I said, yeah, boom. I already paid for it.
Wait a minute, whoa.
I got the room, the hotel room, everything.
At 15?
15, man.
Child Protective Services should have had your mother and your father in handcuffs.
I was mature, man. They knew I could handle it. I was that guy.
Were you 6'4" then?
No, I wasn't this tall, but I probably wasn't the shortest kid.
Right.
But I was tall enough to be believable, I guess.
Apparently.
I mean, yeah, man, that's how it was back then. It was just
wow.
I was in the nightclubs at 15, 16, man, performing.
My parents worried about me catching the city bus at the age of 12. Your parents putting you on a plane at 15.
Man, because I was so into it, man. I practiced every day. They said, this kid, they had to let me go, man. I won a talent show. I kept winning. I was making money.
Right.
It was like, what can you say? He's on his way.
True.
He's like, he's doing it.
I would think your parents might want to go with you.
I thought so, too. I don't know why they didn't go. But I had the best time, man. I had the best time.
They were hoping you didn't come back.
Man, but I was responsible, man. My father was like, he could trust me, man. I was like kid, like go take my car, go around the corner and pick up my 6-pack of beer.
At 11.
My father sent me around. My father busted his kneecap on his motorcycle and he couldn't drive, so he sent me around the corner to the package store to his Masonic brother who owned the package store. And he would come out and put the beer in the back seat. We shouldn't have been doing that.
I know. No,
I just wanted to drive. I'm just a kid. I just wanted to get behind the wheel. I didn't think. He said, "I want you to go over there, and come right back. You go over there and come right back."
Right.
I said, "Okay, I got this. I got this."
3 hours later, you show back.
That's the stuff that they did back in the day, man. You can't do that today. You know, trouble my father would have got in for doing that.
That's what I'm saying. Is there a statute of limitation on this? That's all I'm saying, bro.
Man.
So at 15,
he just had it now. He didn't have it.
So
but
now,
he became one of my biggest fans, though. I want to clear that up, man. Even though he told me, you know, that I was crazy for doing it, he really became one of my biggest fans. I always tell parents, never kill your kids' dreams because you don't know what God put in them.
Right.
You don't even know what dreams are in you, let alone your child.
Right.
I gotta put that out there and tell
you. But you're right. And you know, with my father was I wouldn't say a dream killer, but subconsciously he might have been, because he was a person who had a tough childhood, and he didn't want anything to happen to his children. So anything out of the ordinary, he shut it down. If there was a sense of a kid, you know, when his kids getting hurt physically or emotionally, he shut it down. But I used to be upset about that. As you know, you get older, you're like, I missed a lot of opportunities on this. But you have to understand, your parents can only teach what they know at the time. And we never missed a meal. My father worked his butt off. So you have to let all that go. Because, you know, some people, they still hang on to that, man. My father didn't love me enough. He ain't hugged me enough. They did what they could at the time. But that's good that you have parents like that, man, to, you know, at first think you're crazy. But you were showing, and I just did a podcast with our friend Lewis Johnson. And I was talking about how every moment as a parent, we have to find those teachable moments and embrace them with our kids. Case in point, my middle son, his MO was to start something and quit. So he started this lawnmower. Well, he hooked up with a lot of guys in our neighborhood at the time, and they were cutting grass, but it was like 7 of them. 7 kids cutting the grass. I said, y'all ain't making nothing but $1.50 each. Well, the kid who owned the lawnmower, his father said, you need to quit going out with these kids because you're losing your money. So he only took one other guy. My son wasn't one of them. So my son came to me and said, I want to get a lawnmower so I can start cutting grass. Teachable moment on my part that I missed, because I was looking at his MO, what you've been doing, starting and quitting. I'm not spending no money on no lawnmower. You don't even cut the yard over here. When you start cutting the grass over here, then I'll get you a lawnmower. But I should have said, we're going to give it a shot. I'm going to get you a little cheap lawnmower, find you a couple of yards to cut. Matter of fact, I'm going to let you practice on the yard here. That's what I should have done. So your parents did a great job, man, in finding that dream. I could have had the next Bill Gates.
Yeah.
But now well, he's doing well. He's working for UPS. He's a supervisor at UPS. So he's still doing well. But those teachable moments, your father gave you that teachable moment, they embraced it. And I did an interview with Malcolm Puck, who's a magician, and he said the exact same thing. His father took him, he took him to a magic store, and he fell in love with it because his father basically embraced it with him. And people don't realize fathers are so important to sons at an early age.
Oh, man.
It's
tell
so
you,
important.
You know, it's so important that you support your children because you can make them or break their dreams, man.
Exactly.
You know, I remember years ago, I always wanted to go to this famous magic shop. It was called Tannen's. Tannen's Magic Shop. Was located in New York. I might have been off Broadway or something. And I remember being in New York one day as an adult, and I walked down the street and I looked up and I saw the sign Tannen's. I always wanted to go there, but I could never get my parents to drive from from Connecticut there, which wasn't that far. Maybe it might have been an hour and a half, 2 hours, maybe.
Right.
Maybe.
Yeah, because the speed limit was 45 miles an hour back then.
But when I went in there, I remember seeing there was a young kid and his father was there with him, and I was talking to him. I said, well, this is the famous Tannen's Magic Shop, you know, and his son was excited. And I said, where you guys from? He said, we're from Connecticut. Well, that's where I'm from. I said, wow. I said, you guys drove all the way over here? He said, yeah. He drove his son across the bridge, you know, to New York. I was thinking, I said, man, that's what I'm talking about, man. This guy is really supporting this kid, man. Now, most parents probably won't do that. They're going to be like, man, I ain't taking you to New York for no magic tricks. Boy, you better go in that room and disappear.
I'm surprised your father doesn't throw you the keys and drive yourself.
Yeah, right. You know how black parents are, though. You know, well, if you don't get out of here, boy, I'm gonna turn you into a rabbit. I play with you. I take you to New York to get no magic tricks.
Right.
Well, you know how hard I worked this week? You talking about getting some magic tricks?
Yeah, I got some magic for you right here. Houdini, abracadabra, get the hell out of my face.
But it's the little things like that, and especially I'm gonna say this, especially for African Americans, because many of us we're very talented people, but we think that we can only sing and play basketball or sing and dance.
Right.
But we can do a lot of things well, man. We're doing all kinds of stuff. We're into motocross, man. We're into X Games.
Right.
They're riding the bikes. Man, we can do anything, man. Anything anybody can do, we can do.
Absolutely.
It's all about exposure.
At a young age, I remember I was like 26 when I started stand-up. And I lied to my parents at 26 and told them I got fired from my job. I'm not going to tell my parents I quit my job with a wife and 2 kids to do comedy. Man. My father would have said, boy, you done lost your damn mind.
You know that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you got let's get back to your story. We don't went on this tangent of fathers.
That was some good stuff right there. That's some good stuff. Matter of fact, I got somebody here. Hey, what you doing, man?
All right. We holler at you later, Woody.
All right, man. This is my father right here.
Right.
This guy right here, I call him Uncle Rufus.
Oh, Uncle Rufus.
That's right. I am his uncle. But
what's
really,
up, bro?
Hey, how you doing, Miguel?
I'm good,
but he's really my father. When I had him created, I gave him a picture of my father, a picture of Ozzie Davis, and my Uncle James. So he's an original character.
All right.
And my father had become kind of ornery in his later years. Like, he never came to Atlanta to visit my house. I kept trying to get him. I said, Dad, why don't you come down and see the house? Well, I need to get a new car. I said, well, Dad, why don't you rent one? Well, the gas is too high. I said, well, Dad, why don't you fly? Well, that's the money I was going to use to get the car with. I couldn't win with him, man. He was impossible, man. He was totally impossible, man.
Right. So now you got a totally different voice.
Yeah, man, you got to have a different voice to enter the couch.
But see, that, to me, that's the art of it, because you got to know who hand you got up their butt.
Right. Back. You gotta make sure I look good. I'm gonna fix you up, okay?
You looking good, Rufus.
And don't need moving your lips either, because you're gonna get a ticket. You're gonna get a ticket for a moving violation. Lord have mercy.
Man, you don't ever get the voice.
You know, I'm the head. You know, I'm the head deacon at the church. You know what? I'm the head deacon, Miguel. You know why?
Why?
You know why?
Why?
Because they wouldn't let me be the pastor.
So you're going to be the head deacon.
I'm the head deacon. You know what else? I got another position at the church. Ask me what my other position is.
What's your other position, Uncle Rufus?
Wake me up when somebody gets saved. No, for real though, I'm the usher.
You the usher?
I'm the usher.
Usher.
Usher. No, I said the usher.
Yeah, usher. What's the usher?
You like to tell people where they can sit. No, I like to tell people where they can go. I don't care where you sit.
That's the usher.
Sit where you want to sit. You walked in here by yourself, you sit down by yourself. You ain't then need to tell you where to sit.
Right.
You find a seat, you take a seat. You move your feet, you lose your seat.
I don't know what y'all want from me. I'm AARP, okay?
AARP?
AARP. I ain't got the D here right now.
Okay.
AARP. Yeah, I ain't got the D here right now. I'm AARP. Okay, I got it.
All right. Uncle Rufus over there coordinated. I like that outfit.
Thank you. I tried.
So is this the last one you've got, last character you've brought to the forefront, or do you have others?
No, there's another one. I don't even want to talk about that one. Oh, come on, Uncle. No, don't, please don't. Oh, Lord.
Oh, you got another one. Okay, who you got?
Please, Lord, have mercy. Lord, don't do it. Don't do it.
Oh, okay.
How you doing? How you doing? This is Aunt T. How you looking?
Hey,
you
Aunt T.
fine.
How you doing?
There you go, always trying to hit on somebody. Oh, Rufus, you know that because he finally found somebody that don't mind when he put his hand in their back. Go on, baby. Do what you need to do. You got bills to pay. You know, she's a mother of all the mothers of the church. She is the mother. That's right. I am the mother. I am. Amen. Allah kabasa. Pray to lasagna. Oh, rigatoni. There you go with all that religious stuff. Uncle Rufus, come on, don't stop. Man, you put us in a suitcase together, and he always be in there flashing gas. That's what I don't like about it. You don't ask me what I think. You just let it out.
I ain't got to do the interview.
I was in Afghanistan last night.
Willie, I ain't got to do an interview. I can just sit there and listen to those two, man. If you had a third hand.
Yeah, we trying to get along.
If you had a third hand, you could have Woody in there too. That would be,
yeah, you know, she back on the dating scene now. Yeah, I like them young. Cause I like them young. Ain't nothing an old man can do to me to point me to a younger man. You know what I'm saying, Miguel?
I know what you're saying.
But the young man ain't got nothing but big ideas. I need a man with major medical, dental, vision, liposuction, and breast reduction. If I wasn't mistaken, Auntie, I think if you was a jaguar. No. Oh, hold it. Somebody trying to call us. Hang up on them. Don't worry. We're going to keep it going there.
Okay. Wow.
All right.
Man.
I tried to lock it down.
Willie,
I'm going to call them right back. Everybody, we in demand right now. Everybody want to.
Well, don't feel bad.
Talk to us right now. They don't realize we on TV.
My mother done called me twice.
I thought I had the phone on
oh, I didn't even
on vibrate. There we go. I'm gonna call him right back.
No, you good. You good.
Yeah, everybody trying to get us to do the free show.
Yeah. So how are you handling this with the COVID? You know, you have to do the virtual show now.
Man, I say 6 feet away or 6 feet under. You choose. Okay, 6 feet away or 6 feet under. I'm telling you.
Willie,
it's the only time in my life, Miguel, that I didn't want to come out with a suitcase. Okay, please put me back in. I don't even want to be out. Lord, how come outside? Pray to lasagna. Oh, rigatoni, ravioli, and queenie.
Now, Willie, I can see you can do virtual shows with no problem whatsoever.
What kind of shows?
Virtual shows.
We've been doing a few. Yeah, they did try to get us to do free shows, Miguel. It's over. It's over. No, I'm done. I'm done.
Can't do no free show.
I rebuke that spirit.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you got to pay your cable bill, Willie.
Yeah, we got to pay the bills.
That's right. That's right. Well, so Willie, you got three characters.
We got a white boy in the closet. We got a white boy in the closet. And he in the closet. The white boy is in the closet.
Wow.
That's funny. You know, Mike Epps does a joke. He's about some joke about buying some drugs or something. It's funny, a funny bit. He says, I got the white boy in the car. I got the white boy in the car. you go, look, I got the white boy in the car, and he's going to be with us all weekend. And look, man, just give me a little something, put a little something in this dollar bill. I got the white boy in the car. The white boy in the closet, right back there. We got a white boy in the closet.
No, that's funny. That's funny.
I'm not done. I can create more characters, man. It's just I need more time. I need more time.
Right. Who do you
have time to do this?
Like who right now? Who inspires you? As a ventriloquist?
Jeff Dunham, man.
Right. I was going to ask you about him.
Yeah, man. You know, we started. We were kids. He used to be at the conventions, and he was good. He was good when we were kids. I was good. I won. I won the most promising ventriloquist at that convention that I went to at 15. I won in the junior competition. I won most promising ventriloquist, most promising ventriloquist award. That meant something. I was like, wow, okay,
absolutely,
I must be on my way. Right. And I didn't even have the best character to work with, but they saw something. They saw something in me, man.
The drive.
So maybe it was my drive. Maybe
motivation.
Yeah, maybe it was the fact that I was writing my own material. But I believe
maybe it was the fact that you was 15 years old, flew there by yourself, got a hotel room, and stayed there for 3 days without getting in trouble. That's impressive to me, right there. That you'd have won something.
Yeah, they didn't know, man. It was incredible, man. Incredible.
That was like Home Alone on the road.
That's right.
Home Alone on the road.
Hallelujah. Won't he do it, Miguel? Won't he do it?
He will do it. He will do it.
He know he will.
I still have a lot more. I'm just getting started, man.
Right.
Because there's so much more I can do, and I can't think of everything. I'm just busy. I've got a lot of stuff in my head, and these characters came about. Aunt T and Uncle Rufus came about when President Obama was in office.
Okay.
Because he was saying, you got to reinvent yourself. You got to tighten up your bootstraps.
Right.
And I was listening because things had gotten tight back then, kind of like what we're going through now. But maybe if we would have taken some of the things we learned back in those days, and hey, I'm better off today than I was. Because back then I only had one character. Now I got 4 characters. Right. You got to keep on reinventing. You got to do more because people were like, why don't you get it? Jeff Dunham's got 6 characters.
Right. Right.
I mean, this is a contest, but no, you do have to. You got to add on, man.
Well, they always compare us to whoever's in the upper echelons of our craft. People are always going to compare you to what they're doing and what you should be doing. So, but they don't understand the climb, the structure to get to a certain point.
Especially to be a ventriloquist in this day and age, when many people think that it's a dying art. To be able to go into a comedy club and make these people laugh with these characters is really a challenge. Right. I mean, you know how it is. There's no joke being in a comedy club.
I can't even imagine a ventriloquist, man. I mean, I'm still in awe watching you, and we've been knowing each other for a while. Just watching you work now, that's amazing to me, man.
I can't believe it myself. I'm just sitting here looking at. I'm flabbergasted. I'm really flabbergasted.
You flabbergasted?
I'm flabbergasted, and I got gas too. I tell you, there's something about the ribs that I ate from Stephen Nicks or whatever his name is, Stephen Nicks or somebody.
Okay. Right. Now, who is she based off of?
She's just Auntie. My mother to some degree, but she's like the mother of the church. I needed somebody who could put Uncle Rufus in his place. Right. She's like almost like Aunt Esther or something with Red Fox.
Red Fox, right.
When you look at it, man, the map has already been designed for us, man. All you got to do is just follow the. I look at Martin Lawrence and I say, oh, that was I Love Lucy. Right. Years later, years later, you know what I mean? Really, pretty much.
Everything is, you ain't got to invent the wheel. Just put some rims on it. That's all you got to do. Put your own rims on it.
Sitting on 20s, David. Sitting on 20s.
So what do you plan on going from here, Willie?
After this, you're going to go to the stove.
Why? He already spent $2,000
We need some toilet paper because you can't get no toilet paper. We're using loose leaf notebook paper, Miguel. That's ridiculous. I'm trying to tell you. Oh, Lord, the finger done slipped through the hole. Lord, have mercy. Just help me. Freedom lasagna.
You stupid.
I make myself laugh. I want to try to I want to get back to these clubs, and I want to build an audience and let people know what I'm doing. So I'm trying to really take it to social media. So I really appreciate this opportunity being with you. I've been doing different podcasts. I've been doing this weekly sermon Uncle Rufus preaches on Sundays, every Sunday on my Facebook page.
Okay.
And I've been transferring that to our YouTube channel. So I'm really trying to build a new audience. So people who haven't seen, there's a lot of people who really dig what I'm doing. Right. And I got to tap into that audience, let them see. They just need to see us. And I got to make sure that it's relevant, poignant, hot topics. Right. And deal with stuff that they can relate to.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, let me ask you this. I'm gonna ask you this before we get out of here. When you were talking about when you first started.
Okay, look at. I can see you later.
I'll see you later, Auntie.
What you doing down here? Don't let her sit on my face.
She's not gonna sit on your face, Uncle Rufus. Come on.
Man, I don't see.
Yeah, man, what's going on with it?
Woody, just calm down.
I don't see how you do it, bro. Do your wife think you crazy?
Yeah, it's a lot of voices in your head, We all have a lot of voices, but I put pictures to mine.
Right, exactly. So when you write material, I was going to ask you this earlier and we got off track. When you write material, how do you write material for, apparently you the straight man?
Yeah. That's what he thinks. Yeah, they all start out straight, then they end up going curvy.
Curvy? I'm not curvy.
Yeah, I know that's what you say now. I hope you ain't out the closet.
I'm not out I'm not out the closet, Uncle Rufus. All right.
I don't know why you got you putting your hand in our back all the time.
Man, listen.
So what happens is the material comes to me, and now it comes to me in a monologue most of the time, like a stand-up comedian. Okay. It comes as a stand-up comedian, then I gotta change it, and I gotta be the setup guy, and I gotta make them the punchline person. But I gotta mix it up a little bit. I think I should get some of those jokes too. And I've been working on my stand-up over the years. I've developed. I got a few minutes that I can do, and I really love the art of stand-up, and I have such a great appreciation for it. What you guys do, because you don't have a puppet up there with you.
But you know what's funny?
I got somebody. If it don't work for me, right? Okay, well, let me bring out my partner. I'll bring out my partner. I am a professional ventriloquist.
Right. But you know what popped in my head when you were saying that? This be a great movie of a ventriloquist who don't think he's getting enough jokes, and he breaks up the act like he's real or something. That would be funny to me, man. We got to part ways. You were the dummy. Oh, I'm sorry, the D word. I use a character. Sorry,
I heard that.
The
character. You and the character breaking up. That'd be funny, man.
Well, I did a episode on this TV show on Bounce TV this past year. It was called Last Call. It was on the show was T.C. Carson. Okay. From Living Single, and the brother that played Cole from Martin. What's his name? I can't call his name right now. Carl Payne. And I had a great episode on there. I had about 4 scenes. It was really good. And my Woody was the character, but he was breaking up with me over intellectual property. He didn't want to be with me anymore, so he was suing me for content. Right. He was saying I stole his jokes. And it was pretty funny, man.
It is funny. That's a movie, man. I can say it's a movie.
But I have a treatment for a show that I definitely want to do. And I want to shoot it myself. If nothing else, I would love to just shoot it. Me being a single dad, raising my son, being a insurance salesman by day, and moonlighting as a ventriloquist at night. Right. And just dealing with life on life's terms, trying to raise my son to be a decent kid. And also being single. My mother lives with me, and I got these voices in my head that keep popping up.
That's the name of the sitcom. The Voices in My Head.
The Voices in My Head. Sitcom.
Yeah. Yeah. And we both took the Lamont Farrell 101, right? So you better get to work on that script.
Oh yeah, he helped me with it. I need to go back and just dust it off and
It's all
I need
about
to make.
rewriting.
That's the one thing I want to do. If I can do nothing else, I like to make that happen.
Right.
That's my goal. I want to do that.
Maybe we should team up, man, and be a writing team. You help me with mine, I help you with yours, man. That's
I love that idea.
We think we have to do it all by ourselves, man. Because Black comics, I don't know what it is about Black comics. We're in this bubble, and even when we make it, we forget about everybody else. And I was just telling Lewis about this. Ray Romano took his people with him. Adam Sandler, every movie is his same friends. Kevin James, his same people.
Yes.
But the Black comics, they just like,
yeah, you
on your own.
And those guys, that's why those guys keep each other working. What's the guy who's always in those movies about the night at the museum? His dad just passed.
Ben Stiller. Ben
Stiller. Ben keeps all those guys in. He keeps them in their mood. I mean, they all work together, man.
Exactly.
He keeps Owen Wilson working.
Exactly.
All those guys are always helping each other, man. That's what it's all about.
And that's what we should do. So if anything you need, you let me know, man. Anything you need, any help. We talk anyway. But then you go off the map for a while at times. I can't reach you. I'm just gonna drive by your house.
It's because I have another business that I've been doing.
Oh, okay.
And the reason why I started the business is because of comedy, and as great as comedy has been for me, I know I need to have residual income while I sleep.
Yeah.
So I started this. I got involved with this other business called Carrot Bars.
Okay.
And what we do is we trade our depreciating paper for an appreciating asset. So that's gold. That's a gram of gold.
Okay.
And so I help people trade their paper for gold. Because gold outpaces inflation. That's 1 gram. This is 2.5 grams, a little bigger. And that right there, this is 5 grams of pure gold.
Okay.
Gold is real money.
Right. Absolutely.
So I got into this thing, and I was like, I never thought I would get involved in anything like this. My wife kind of pushed me, and we've been doing it for 6 years, and I've actually made more money doing this than I do with comedy.
Wow.
And I'm making money while I sleep.
Right.
Which I hadn't gotten to that place with the comedy. I should, but that's what happens if you land a sitcom.
Right.
Then you get the residual income, which is what we all want. That's why people want to be in show business, because they want residual income. That's why they cut records. Income. They want residual income.
Well, see, I tried to do that residual thing about 10 years ago, 10 years ago. I opened a janitorial service, and man, let me tell you something. Don't ever open up a janitorial service, because that's hands-on. You don't get to sleep because they call you. They didn't clean my toilet yesterday. You got to you're there till 1 o'clock in the morning, and you get a 7 o'clock call because some of your workers at your other building didn't do what they supposed to do. You are hiring and firing. Put it like this, Willie. This is how bad it was. I would get off the plane at times. My wife would bring my uniform, and I would go from a cruise ship where I've just entertained 3,500 people to standing ovations and leave there and get on a plane, fly home, and then go clean toilets. One night I was cleaning the toilet, and this true story. I was on the Caribbean Princess. I was doing a week on, week off for 6 months. And I got 9 standing ovations, 9 in a row, standing all different shows. I had to go to this building to clean, and I'm thinking about the 9 standing ovations as I'm cleaning this toilet. And then I flushed the toilet, and I said to myself, there goes my career.
Wow.
Yeah, it's that residual income, man.
That's real.
Yeah,
that's real. But that talks about the real struggle, the real grit, the real grind work. I mean, what you really have to do to put yourself where you really want to be. I mean, you were willing to do it. And some people don't see that part. They only see, oh, you were on stage and you had them cracking up. And
they don't know, they don't know the grunt work behind it.
Yeah.
But see, even for me, it's one thing, but for you as a ventriloquist, dude, that's a totally different realm, in my opinion. That's a totally different, that's like, I'm gonna be a professional poet. You know, you ain't got nowhere to go. You have to invent your own. Like if these people wouldn't have came to you and said, how much do you charge? You wouldn't have known to go to a comedy club to try this out. Because there's no ventriloquist clubs.
Right. I evolved. I did it throughout high school, and then I went to college at Hampton University. And I did a lot of shows on campus.
Okay.
For the fraternities and sororities.
Right.
Then I would go off campus and do some talent shows at these different clubs.
Right.
And I would sometimes win the money, whatever. And,
right.
And then when I graduated from Hampton, I moved to Washington, D.C., and that's when I really started working on my comedy chops. I started working alongside Dave Chappelle,
right,
Chris Thomas, Wanda Sykes.
Okay.
These were my peers. These are all the people, and we were all together trying to be funny, man, trying to make it. I started hitting the clubs, and that's where I really developed my timing. You know,
brother, listen, keep going. I encourage you to keep going because you're an inspiration to me because you took something that is outside of the box, outside of the other box. That's like the next thing you would have to top ventriloquism to me, you would have to say, I want to be a mime and make money. That's how far. That's how far that is, right? So, Willie, thank you for coming on my podcast. A funny thing happened on my way to success. I met Willie B. Brown and Woody.
Thank you. I appreciate you, man. And if you guys want to find me, you can go to WillieBrownandWoody.com, Willie Brown and Woody, WOODY.com. Or I'm on Facebook, Willie Brown and Friends. I'm on Twitter, Woody's Boy, and on Instagram, The Clean Comedy Clinic.
There we have it. And if you missed that, just rewind you can't rewind. I'm old school. That's the tape. Go back.
You can find me. You can find, we're somewhere you'll find us.
Yeah, go Google Brown. Willie B and Woody, and everything will pop up.
Yeah, Willie Brown and Friends, ventriloquist, we're going to come up somewhere.
There you go. This
probably is most wanted, America's Most Wanted or something. You might see us at the post office like this.
Right. This is the last episode of season 1.
Oh.
And next season, I have singer T. Cake Ferguson, Ashley Amber, Earl Turner, comedian Fred Klett and Frank King, comedian Kiwi Rogers, and singer and talented brother that works on the cruise ship named Terry Lavelle, and many, many more. Willie, thank you so much for being on my podcast. I'm glad we can make this happen. And I'm going to be calling you about the Bible study. I'm going to be calling you about the Bible study because I'm behind, so I got to catch up.
We're doing good, man. We're doing good. Thank you for offering that to me, man. That thing has changed my life and helped me so much this year.
Well, I'm glad it has, man. And we'll talk real soon. Thank you so much, man.
Thank you, brother. God bless you, man.
All right, peace.
All right.
You can find A Funny Thing Happened on My Way to Success podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all podcast platforms. Follow us on all social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Miggy's World _. Lastly, to experience and support everything I'm doing, go to my website, miggy'sworld.com. Thanks again, and we'll see you next week.